What's going on, my people? You know what it is, your boy Earl, Big Business, Urban Wall Street Project. We're here doing it again for my people out there. You know we talk about economic empowerment, social consciousness, prosperity for urban America, but it's very important. And the only way we can do that is if we are financially literate. Well, today I have a very esteemed guest in the building. This brother is co-author of the national bestseller, The Baron's Son. Without further ado, I'm going to get into it. I could say so many things because he's doing a lot of things. He's a major player out there, out of D.C., by way of Chicago, by way of HU. So it's a beautiful thing. And I got my brother, Mr. WilliamR.Patterson, in the building. Brother, how are you?
Earl, it's a pleasure to be on the show.
Yes, finally we got it in, brother. So I'm happy to have you in the house. We're going to talk about some things. And The Baron's Son, let me tell you, I started reading that book, and I definitely got into it. As a gentleman who's on the path of financial literacy and just really creating economic empowerment for myself, and then of course the community. So I was really feeling it, and then of course having a mutual friend, I definitely want to get these brothers on. If I'm so blessed to have them in the house to really start, sharing and teaching my people out there as they do nationwide. Let's bring it to this level too, and let's start doing it from the east. So I'm just happy to have you in the building. So let's get into it. The Baron's Son, WilliamR.Patterson. Let's talk about it, brother.
Sure. The Baron's Son is the story of a young boy who loses everything and through struggle finds the secret to become the richest, most powerful person in the world. It's a story that's loosely based on our experiences running a financial holding company. I'm chairman and CEO of the Walker Capital Group, LLC. We do staged investments in private businesses. We also do high-end commercial real estate ventures. And we've also worked with a number of Fortune 100 executives across the country and researched a number of industry barons throughout history. So we looked, and also the baronesses, so I don't want to leave out the ladies.
Definitely.
But we looked at the Andrew Carnegies, the John D. Rockefellers, to the A.G. Gastons, and the Madam C.J. Walkers, up to the Bob Johnsons, the Oprah Winfreys, and the Bill Gates of today. And we took their strategies and condensed them all into 11 supreme principles.
Oh, okay, and we're definitely going to get into those. But before we get into them, I always do my homework, and I went to the site and I wrote down a little something that I wanted to read because it's so poignant when I talk to the audience. A lot of times people think we have to have several jobs to be financially stable or financially well off, or I need to become a millionaire. Think because you're a millionaire, you'll be financially well set off. And you said something I read on your site, and it says, contrary to popular belief, financial independence is not about achieving the elusive goal of becoming a millionaire. It is more about owning your time and living your life on your own terms. And then you followed it up by saying, in keeping with the true definition of financial independence, it is vital to structure your wealth and portfolio in a way that brings greater freedom with every dollar. And that's so key. It's all about maximizing that dollar. Now, for my people who heard that and they said, wow, that sounded deep, and it wasn't pretty much layman terms, break it down a little bit for us, brother.
Sure. That's something that we call the millionaire myth.
Okay.
That people think, wow, this person is a millionaire, so they must live a life of financial freedom. But when you look at, let's say, the millionaire homeowner, or you look at the person whose wealth is tied up in their business, you see that they cannot enjoy their wealth.
Right.
So they have to actually work harder as they become more successful. The key to financial freedom, which you can actually attain in your teenage years, if done right, is keeping your expenses low and looking for ways to build up what we call passive income or asset-based income.
We talk about that.
That way you own your time. And this is something that I tell a lot of college students. Keep your expenses low. Don't go out, if you can, keep the student loan debt low, keep the credit card debt low.
For sure.
But if you can keep your expenses low and then you go get that first job, assuming you don't have a business that you've been working on all the time that you've been in school.
True.
But if you can keep your expenses low, one of the things that you can start to do is to build up some sources of passive income by creating, let's say, different forms of intellectual property. That might be a CD, it might be a book where you start to receive royalties. It might be different sources of other passive income or residual income. It might be a direct sales business. It might be some business-based income streams like accounts receivable or insurance-based income streams. And these are things that may sound complex, but the average person can get in and learn and just start brokering some of these deals, and then they can build up these streams of passive income. And once they build up these streams of passive income, they will surpass their expenses, and they own their time. Exactly. And once you own your time, you can spend that time working on your multi-million-dollar idea.
That's a real serious situation. So I hope you understand that. You broke it down. at the earliest stage, or even at the teenage years. And we talk about that. We talked about it in one of our previous shows. Start early, because the earlier you start, the better off you'll be. Now, I know you just before mentioned there's 11 principles that you would just, can we get into a few of those?
Sure. The first principle in the book we call the irresistible force.
Okay.
And the irresistible force is about tapping into your great idea. It's about tapping into your passion. One of the things that's unique about our program, which is called the Barron Solution, and our book, The Barron Son, it's not about earning a few more dollars a month. It's not about becoming a millionaire. It's about tapping into your great idea and leveraging that great idea to bring in other people and build a legacy for future generations.
Right.
So you pick out a niche, and you're able to dominate that niche as an industry baron or baroness. So this is a higher level of what we typically think about when it comes to financial independence and also just financial empowerment. It's dominating as a baron or baroness with one idea.
Okay, that's definitely. Now let me get a second one.
Sure. The second one is what we call the invincible shield, which talks about the importance of developing self-confidence and being able to block out the negative influences in our life. Realize that what you truly believe in your heart and mind is what's drawn into your life. So often we are bombarded with negative influences from friends, family members, co-workers. People say you can't do it. There's no way you can do it. And it's actually an interesting story in creating the Barron Son. I remember when it was just a manuscript, and I was talking with you offset. It was a manuscript that was comb bound. And we sent it over there to billionaire Bob Johnson, and people said, of Black Entertainment Television, they said, there's no way you're going to get this guy to stop running a billion-dollar company to read this book. But he did, because he understood the importance of the work that we were doing and laying it out as an ethical roadmap. One of the other things I sent him was a T-shirt, and on the front of the T-shirt it says "I am," and on the back it said "The Baron." So it's about teaching a person to tap into that natural creative power that can change the world.
Because the reality is we all have it in us.
Definitely.
And that's one thing we're talking about. Like, whatever it is you want to do, we all have that ability to become who we want to be, to achieve what we want to achieve, and to grow to where we want to grow. But once again, it comes with that knowledge of self and that believing in yourself. Now, the Barron Son, when you decided, you have a couple of partners that wrote the book with you, right?
That's correct.
Right. And I know that they're in a warmer region trying to get you there. But what was that experience like, William? Right? Because is this your first book? Was this your first collaborative effort or your first book?
Well, we had worked on several screenplays. We actually have a screenplay called Cufflinks. You want to look out for that too. And that's a financial drama. It's about 3 African American males who become fed up with the rat race and decide to bankrupt a multi-billion-dollar financial institution.
Wow.
You've never seen brothers on screen doing anything like that. But we wanted to go on the other side of the spectrum, and we wanted to give people some tools and some resources to change the condition of their life when they had absolutely nothing. No money, no resources, and no idea of where to start. So the 3 of us got together really out of the late 90s, early 2000s, when the stock market had crashed. Many people had lost their life savings, and they were looking for a way to rebuild. They were looking for a way to achieve success when they had few to no resources. And that's what the Barron Son and eventually our training program, the Barron Solution, evolved into.
Okay. Now that Barron Solution, the Barron Son Training Solution, I like that. I know you talked about it. Now, what is the demographic? Is that a target? Is there a certain age individuals want to be in when they start that program, or what the case may be?
Well, that's a great question. We started out working with adults, and we worked with people who literally couldn't pay their next bill, to people who were running multi-million-dollar corporations. And one of the things that we noticed as we started to work with older adults is that many of the problems that they were facing stem back to much earlier in their development. So we rolled out a national pro bono workshop series for children. It was the Barron Solution Youth Program. And in that youth program, we target young people starting in kindergarten on through high school and into college, teaching a number of different key skills. Number one is the vision and the concept development, where we teach a person how to come up with great ideas by asking the creative questions of their peer group. if something existed, would you buy it? What types of information do you want to read about? Do you want to watch? Do you want to listen to? And then creating products and services that fill that void, as well as learning to responsibly manage assets and income and debt and liabilities.
Right. Now, one thing I definitely want to ask you, having you here as a financial expert and a writer of course, a national bestseller, Barron's Son. Pick it up if you don't have it, because you're slipping. There's a lot of myths. There's definitely a lot of myths that people, with regards to how to become wealthy, how to get out of debt, how to just live comfortably. And we kind of dispel a lot of those myths. In your industry and being, in the situation you are and running the companies and just creating whole financial plans to help people, change their lives, especially when you pretty much can't pay your next bill. That's a serious situation. And you kind of feel completely defeated. Like, I hear what you're saying and it sounds so valuable, but I cannot afford to pay my cable bill next month. How is this going to help me now? What's some of the myths, William, as you've come across that when people are like, wow, it's like, there's a lot of work to do, man, because people just are misinformed. Tell me some of the myths that's out there.
Well, one of the big myths is that you can't begin building wealth starting from nothing. You can build wealth, not necessarily starting from nothing, but starting from an idea, and the idea that you're going to change the condition of your life. We found in our work with tens of thousands of people across the U.S. and abroad that there are 7 major reasons that people struggle financially.
Okay.
And these reasons have absolutely nothing to do with money.
Okay.
And that sounds like a strange statement.
Right.
That my financial problems don't have anything to do with money. But if you look, there was actually a survey that came out from Harris Interactive. They did it for Career Builder, and they looked at high-wage earners, people that earn over $100,000 a year, and they found that nearly 30% of them save less than $250 a month, and that 18% of them actually could not continue their lifestyle for more than a month if they lost their job. So these are some important statistics because they do show that it's not about money, but it's about what you do with the money that you have. But the number one reason that people struggle financially, which has nothing to do with money, is the fact that they don't have a mentor. Whenever I meet a person and I ask them that they're struggling financially, the first question I ask them is, do you have a mentor? And the answer is always no.
Right.
The second reason is their belief system. Most people do not truly believe in their heart and mind that they can change the condition of their life starting from where they are.
That's real.
Definitely.
That's definitely real.
Number 3 is their network. Realize that your network is a direct reflection of your net worth. One of the fastest ways for you to increase your net worth is to change the people that you're around.
Oh, please. Say that one more time, directly to my people.
Definitely. One of the fastest ways to improve your net worth is to change the people that you're around. Realize that people with limited networks are always the last to know and the last to be helped.
No question. No question.
The fourth piece is that most people are using the wrong vehicle to try to build wealth. They're trying to build wealth through a job.
Right.
I always say that a job is the wrong way to go. It's an outdated model. Most people are using this outdated model. And that you're absolutely right, is that most people are trying to solve a $1 million problem with a job. And I'll give you an example of a real estate workshop I did. Okay. There was a young lady in there. She had just gone through bankruptcy, and she was talking about Donald Trump. And she was saying, Donald Trump just went through bankruptcy, and he's back on top. He had his hit show, The Apprentice, at the time. And I said, well, look, Donald Trump is able to achieve success, but he's doing it in a different way. And she said, well, Donald Trump has more resources than I do. I said, that's exactly the point. Donald Trump isn't trying to get out of $1 billion worth of debt with a $50,000 job.
Right.
So you have to use a different vehicle.
Right.
So, that's one of the key things. Use the major wealth-building vehicles, the stock market, real estate, and entrepreneurship.
Definitely.
Now, the fifth piece is lack of knowledge. This is something that anyone can do. You can always go to the library and begin to read books.
Read books. Thank you, William. Read books, my people. It's okay. Read the book. It's okay.
You can always improve the condition of your life by beginning to read books and also, as I mentioned, working with a mentor or a coach. Now, the next piece is tools. Most people are not using the proper tools to build wealth. Now, the knowledge and the tools I kind of relate to, let's say, a person in New York trying to get to California.
Okay.
And you tell the person, hey, the price of a plane ticket is $600, and they look at you and say, that's too expensive.
Right.
I think I'd rather walk. you look at that person as though they were crazy.
Right.
But that's what people do every day who fail to invest in the knowledge and the tools that can accelerate their path to success.
Without question.
Now, the seventh point is that most people are not doing the most important thing every day that will change the condition of their life. Now, they do the small things. But if you want to build $1 million business, that means going after $1 million clients, not the $5 clients or the $50 clients.
Right.
Or if you are going to go after the $5 and the $50 clients, you have to do it at a scale that can get you to $1 million.
Right.
So most people are operating their businesses or their lives at a scale which just does not work.
That's real. And, you know, I want to go back to something because you made a very important point. I remember I was, I believe I was reading it maybe in Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It might have been, I don't know if it was Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki or maybe the Cash Flow Quadrant. But I'll just say that to segue. He said, we were talking about wealth, and it's key that you say, a lot of people think you're wealthy, but if you make $100,000 a month and your expenses are $90,000 a month, and if you start working, you might only last for a month and a half. So the question I was going to ask you, I said, what is your definition of wealth? And from that, because they define wealth, he defined wealth, some define wealth as time. The time that you can sustain your lifestyle and your family lifestyle irrespective of money coming in. So if you stop working on January, how many months can you go before you're flat broke? And if you only can go 3 months, then your wealth is 3 months long because it's a wrap after that. So it's indicative. So from listening to that and hearing that, I said, wow, that was a different point. It's kind of deep. I want to get your perspective. What would you define wealth as, William?
Well, definitely from a material standpoint, I think that is a fairly accurate definition.
Okay.
Is how much income do you have generated from your assets?
Thank you.
Through our approach to Barron Solution, it's about using the success of one business or the increase in one particular asset to create and acquire other assets and businesses.
Right.
So it becomes this chess game, and you're always advancing your position on the board. But when it comes to what I consider true wealth is your ability to what we teach the young people, this vision and concept development. You can always pull together the right deal if you learn how to pull together these joint venture proposals. We say that any situation of lack can be solved through a partnership if you figure out the value and the benefit that you bring to that relationship.
Right.
So if you're lacking the credibility, if you're lacking the money, if you're lacking the audience, you can begin to form some partnerships and bridge that gap, and you can build the wealth that you're looking for rapidly.
Once again, your network. You have to change your network. We talked about it. If you want to be a millionaire, you have to be around millionaires. You know, it's just that simple. I want to be a millionaire, but none of my friends have jobs, and then they're all talking about ways to get rich. People, realistically, for the most part, in the hood, folks that are unemployed, don't have jobs, dream about being wealthy, fantasize about being wealthy, but really don't know how to become wealthy because they knew they probably would already be that.
Well, there's two things.
Okay.
There's knowing, and then there's action. We're big advocates of coaching, and it's just like in sports. In order to be successful, you need at least 3 things. You're going to need a coach, a team, and a game plan.
No question.
And even if you're playing an individual sport, you still have a team. You still have trainers, you still have a physical therapist, you still have a person that will help you in every aspect of the game. You're talking about football, you've got a defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator. You have all of these different coaches who are helping you execute in different aspects of the game. But I want to talk about coaching for a minute and why that's so important.
Definitely.
Now, aside from the fact that you have a person who has expertise in an area, who knows best practices, who can bring turnkey solutions to the table, and these are all huge things. Now, when I say turnkey solution, for people who may not be familiar with that term, it's something that requires little to no work on your part, that everything is already figured out. You just have to put in a certain input, which is similar to turning the key, and the car starts and you're moving. But one of the big things about a coach, aside from bringing all of those assets to the table, is this idea of accountability. When you look at, let's say, Fortune 100 companies, Fortune 500 companies, these people have stockholders, and they also have a board that's holding them accountable. And if they don't perform, they're out. But when you look at the average individual, or you look at the small business owner, they don't have those same external drivers of accountability. They don't have that same person saying, well, if you don't generate this amount of revenue by this date, you're out of here.
Right, right.
So they kind of drag along. But one of the things that a coach can do is to actually keep you on an accountability schedule. There was a study that came out from the American Society of Training and Development that said the probability of you achieving a goal if you hear an idea is 10%. But if you plan how you're going to achieve it, it jumps to 50%. But if you have someone who's holding you accountable, who can walk you through that process, it jumps to 95%.
Wow.
So you can almost double your chances of success from just having a plan to having a coach to walk you through this and hold you accountable to make sure that you're doing the right things right on the right schedule.
That's very important. It's very important. We talk about it. So the reality is we all want to be independent, but what did we say? Interdependency. Interdependency is truly the key, because interdependency means you're working with someone else, whether it be a coach, a mentor, a manager. But the bottom line is this, and we talk about it, and it's so poignant. Michael Jordan, bar none, can be one of the greatest players to ever touch the hardwood. But if you took Michael Jordan and put him on one end of the basketball court, and you put the 5 worst players in the NBA on the other side of the court and blew the whistle in 10-game scrimmage, Michael Jordan would probably lose every single game. Because as great as he is, the 5 terrible people will beat one great person, because you can't, you need that. And that's what a lot of people don't realize. And that's what I hear a lot of people, I got to get mine, I'm independent, I got to get mine. But when everybody's trying to get theirs, irrespective of working together, 9 times out of 10, everybody winds up holding a bag and no one has theirs.
And that's a real lesson. And, being from Chicago, we saw Michael go through that.
Right.
And it was really once he started getting his team involved and making his team better that Chicago started winning championships.
No question.
And had a long run once they started winning those championships. But when it comes to building the team, it is figuring out the people who can actually make up for different areas where you may be lacking.
Right.
So we have a great article on the website, which is baronseries.com.
Okay.
And it talks about finding the right business partners. You don't want to just partner with the first person that comes up to you and says, oh, yeah, that's a great idea.
Right.
Maybe we should start a company. You really want to look to partner with people who are bringing assets to the table, who can help you form strategic partnerships, people who can also help you either bring some assets even beyond money.
Right.
Because if you're going to, we have what we call smart money, and then we have silent money.
Okay.
Silent money may come from friends and family.
Right.
Then you have smart money. Smart money, not necessarily the Wall Street definition, but in the sense that I'm going to use it here, is about a person who can advise you. So if you're going to give up the same percentage of your company, it makes sense to give that to someone who can advise you, as opposed to your cousin, your mother, your brother, etc. Who's like, okay, we hope you can figure, they're gambling, man. We hope you can figure it out and not lose all of our money.
Definitely. That's serious now. We're going to, not change the subject, it's all in the same. Now, I know you got a lot of different other things. There's so many different programs, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be working with the Baron Son, because as much as the things that I want to do, I know I can be helped always. That's the one thing, no matter how great you feel you are, you can always be helped. So before we wrap it up, I know there's a few other things you got going on. I want to talk about some of the other projects you got going on.
Sure. Well, we have a whole product line that evolved from the Baron Son, in addition to the Baron series line of books. The first book in the series is the Baron Son, but it's part of the 7-part series, and we're going backwards.
Right.
And actually, the subtitle of the book is called Vade Mecum, which is Latin.
And I know you got, and that the book is in Polish. I know the Baron Son is also in another language. It's in Polish,
the Baron Son has been doing very well and is being picked up around the world. The Polish version is out now. We also are going to have the Korean version dropping in 2008, Russian, Portuguese.
Excellent.
And we have a lot more that are coming out. So it's definitely become a worldwide phenomenon, and people are embracing the Baron and the Baron solution as an ethical way to build wealth.
Beautiful. That's what I'm talking about. So I know we got a couple of minutes. Like we were talking. We talked about so many things, but I know you got one major project, or a couple of major projects, but the one that's really like where your hands in with your team is intermixed. And maybe in a quick 60 seconds, you can tell us succinctly what that's all about.
Well, as you mentioned, we do have a lot of great programs. One of the things I do want to talk about is our youth program.
Definitely.
We do have a National Pro Bono Workshop Series where we're working with inner city kids, and we're taking them through the stock market challenges, the business plan challenges, and also onto implementing those businesses so that they can be successful. As well as for adults, we have a comprehensive personal coaching program, business coaching program, business consulting program, where we help you dramatically improve your business, and we're able to go in, identify those constraints, and find ways to increase your profits and also bring in more customers.
Oh, that's a serious situation. It's a beautiful situation. Urban Wall Street Project, that's what it is, starting from the ground up, getting with a mentor, getting with a coach, recognizing that you can't build it all by yourself. It's always good to need help, trust me. A wise person always wants help. A fool never wants any, and that's why they're a fool. We've been in series with Mr. WilliamR.Patterson, like I said, author of the best-selling, national bestseller, The Baron's Son. The Baron series is a beautiful situation. Go to the website. You can learn a lot of information. I wish we could talk longer, but you know what it is. We keep bringing it to you. And you can pick up that book, though, The Baron's Son. Check out the website. You'll see the contacts out. And then maybe you can reach out to the brother via email and get a few tidbits here and there. He's a busy brother, but he may have a little time for you, because he and I are definitely going to be talking. We're going to be bringing some beautiful things to our urban communities. I want to thank y'all for joining and tuning in. I definitely want to thank my guest, Mr. WilliamR.Patterson. I want to thank his team with The Baron's Son. Wish him much success. You know how we say all the time, keep your head up, stay prosperous, stay positive, be mindful, spread love, love yourself, and if nothing you can't not accomplish. Let's just do it. All right? You've been watching us. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Wasting your time. Pass it up. The day she met him, she was downtown in her own world, shopping on 34th Street with her homegirls. He dressed nice with a respectful demeanor. She was having a good day, so he stepped into her arena. Last thing on her mind was having to raise kids. Told him she don't give out a number, but she would take his. The courtship became a beautiful segment until she came out and told him she was 6 weeks pregnant. Now he stays gone, call himself shopping for beats. Instinct tells her he's out looking for top on the streets. Always in the studio helping his men's when he wasn't. Come to find out he slept with her best friend's little cousin. She like up child support to the last figure. Anything not to have to deal with this trifling ass again. The baby is born, and every space in her mind brings reality. The father was such a waste of her time. Wasting your time. Between work, singing, and school, she balanced the choice. Ever since she was young, she had a talented voice. But people put her on to this dude, claimed to be a producer. Taught her how to freak her voice in ways she wasn't used to. The contract she was foolish to sign didn't guarantee nothing but some free studio time. No lawyers, no manager, the shit didn't work. So of course, rightfully so, baby girl getting jerked on ice for 7 years due to a hidden clause. Only advance she saw was him trying to get in the drawers. Thinking about all the times he had her call in sick. How the hell she ever let herself fall for this prick? Only choice to wait it out. Whole family pissed off. Plus they heard dudes skipped out of town and slid off. Back to square one, the whole design was